Here is how I made $35,000 in the first part of May 2025. In this video, I will explain what we sell, how our agency setup looks, and how you can do the same thing. This is Mercury. This is the bank that we're using. Not actively using Stripe because of the commissions and because we were getting blocked for a few times because of my background and ecom. Here you can see money in $35,000, money out obviously a lot, and we also have about $34,000 in the overdue invoicing. We're also actively, using credit card, trying to improve the credit score within Mercury so that we can then use it inside our ad campaigns. As I said, agency setup, what we do and how we sell it, and then how you can do it too. We're using ClickUp as an agency to manage all of the tasks. We also use it internally for all the communications. Because I speak Russian, in the Russian speaking community, Telegram is a very popular option. We work with a lot of the contractors. My team primarily are not Russian speaking guys. That is why we needed a one centralized messenger. For the business inquiries, we are using the WhatsApp, but WhatsApp is not the best thing to communicate with the team. That is why we're using ClickUp as a messenger, as well as for the project management. We have multiple spaces. Basically, we have a space. This space holds multiple projects. Each project is a client. For each client, we have the task. By the way, if you want me to create a separate video on how the management inside my team looks, so a detailed view on all of our tasks, let me know in the comments. Using PandaDoc for all the contracts as well as the proposals. I know a lot of people are just sending proposals using Gamma AI presentation builder or Docs. We use PandaDoc because we have a pretty good templates there. Now, about the note taker, here I have Fathom, but I have 7, and a lot of people when hopping on the calls with me are getting confused why there are 7 people on the meetings. But the reason for it is because some of the meetings from guys like Read AI, by the way, this is a negative review for them, when deleted from my account, so more than 250 something video recordings, and I need video recordings to sometimes post on this YouTube channel as a case study or for our internal needs. That is why we're using different ones. ClickUp recently added their meeting recorders, which is, by the way, really good. It creates a summaries and it also stores everything in the database right away. As you can see here, there is a video, there is an audio, and there is a transcript. Read AI, Fathom, Grain, Loom recently added. So this is what we use. Again, so some of them have better video, some of them have better quality, some of them audio quality, some of them have better transcripts. As I already said, Mercury for the banking, because this is the most straightforward way to manage online banking. I don't want yet to have a physical account in the bank or private banking, and I'm not making that much to have one. Dolphin, very interesting. This is, as you can see, this is the anti-detect browser for usually affiliate marketing. Basically, you can create different profiles, and for each profile, you can assign different proxy. This is how we manage the clients. Let's say if the client has, provide us a certain credentials for the Google access or certain credentials for something like the Facebook or LinkedIn, but basically the social media accounts that we need to make sure that they do not intersect with other clients or they do not intersect with our personal accounts. Plus, these are, the profiles where you can, store different subtabs and have everything pretty organized so that you can just, all the team members can just log into their account from one place and have everything set up. But from the technical side, all of the projects that we do, most of the projects come from the one prompt. This is our white label version of High Level that you, by the way, can license, link in the description. This is a conversational sales system in the box. So the majority of the builds that we do within the agency are related to this conversational system. It is powered by the N8N retail VAPI as well as the voice flow, depending on the engine that we want to use. Now, the setup is done. Let me explain more. I already touched it a bit, what exactly we are doing. When it comes to the AI, you need to understand that you can either save companies more time or you can bring them more money. Saving time is great, but it's very hard to scale that way. I do believe there are much more use cases for the AI, for different tools and automations when it comes to saving time. But the problem here is that it is pretty limited in terms of the scaling, because usually each one of these automations is pretty customized and you cannot really productize and scale it to multiple brands. That is why you need something that is related to making money. When it comes to the making money, you can either focus on sales or marketing. Now, I was recently making a post on LinkedIn in my newsletter that the AI marketing is a gimmick because there's a marketing with a help of the AI. So AI agencies should not do the marketing. Marketing agencies should use AI. That is why the thing that we're left is sales. We have been focusing on sales heavily for the past, I would say, maybe 8 months. Most of the clients that we were getting at that time were coming from the cold outreach. Right now, it's about 50-50. So 50% of the prospects, of the clients, let's call it that way, of the clients come from the cold email campaigns that we run, and the 50% comes from the content that they post organically. Obviously, we have much more prospects coming from the cold emails, but most of them are not qualified because the majority of the clients at that time was coming from the cold outreach, as well as we were testing, the paid ads. For the cold outreach, we were using the cold emails. We were also testing the cold calls. We needed something that can bring fast, understandable, and measurable value to the businesses. That is why we started to focus on automating sales processes. This is the most optimal way for you to enter the market or integrate anything into the business and show them the value right away, because you do not need to provide any guarantees in terms of the leads that they're going to get or for how much they're going to receive each and every client. What you focus on is on the lead nurturing, education, follow-up, engagement, re-engagement processes. Now, as an example, we packaged all of these things inside our own platform, which is the One Prompt. Now, this platform holds 13 different agents. Each of this agent is a standalone solution, but the difference here is that all of them are powered by either the N8N or voice flow engine that is actually processing all of the requests of the people. And if we open it right now here, you will see how it looks. And if we are talking about something like the front desk agent where you need to connect the voice AI, we are usually using for the voice, we are using the retail. Now, for the outbound, we're using VAPI, but retail has been showing a really good performance. That is why the majority of the voice AI builds we are building on retail. So here's the engine. This engine is powering a software called High Level. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are aware of this. So the High Level acts like the interface, right? So if you go here, you will be able to see the dashboard, and all the conversations that are happening within the pipeline actually are represented here. You also have all the workflows in one place, and all these workflows are directly connected to this N8N engine or retail engine. Now, I'm showing you this to explain what is the value that we are providing. Now, when it comes to starting with something like that, you need to understand one very important thing. It all comes down to the problem that you're solving. Now, let's say, again, I'm not directly pitching you the one prompt only solution, and I'm not saying that this is the only way for you to get into the space. Obviously, this is the most optimal way because you can focus on sales and not development. But if you pick one of these agents, right, so lead qualification or renewal agent, each of these agents can be applied to tens of different industries. You can even solve multiple problems within each of this agent. That is why you need to go backwards. A lot of people, what I see, again, I post content, I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of the existing agency owners that are transferring to the AI space, a lot of the existing owners of the marketing agencies that are trying to upsell AI solutions to their clients or the actual businesses. A lot of them pick one solution, and off this solution, starting to pick the niche and try to find a problem to solve with a specific thing. I would say that this is not the most optimal way to enter this space because it can get confusing and you can face the analysis paralysis type of the thing when you're gonna infinitely watch different tutorials, YouTube courses, videos, guides, communities, templates, and not do shit. That is why, for example, we've been in a different position because we had the content. And because of the content and because of the volume of the cold messages, cold emails that we're sending, we're getting a lot of different businesses from different countries reaching out to me or replying to our cold outreach message, right? So I was forced to build a bigger team to build more customized solutions. So at the end of the day, we are forced to productize something and focus on something, at least to then resell it to more people. And this is how, our conversational sales system One Prompt was built, because we were only using it for ourselves internally, and very recently started to give people an ability to license and resell this system. So right now we say that we have the most advanced, and this is true, conversational sales system in the world. So this is basically the proposition. Now, this is the proposition that is based on functions and not the problems. And I get it. I don't advise our license holders or you guys, who whatever niche you're choosing, to go with that. I do not advise you to pick, again, some sort of a system or an agent or an automation and then position yourself as an expert with this specific thing. Because businesses right now are trying to fix again, it's pretty obvious. Sorry for trying to pitch you the problem-solving approach all the time, but the AI space is a bit different because it was moving so fast. And the actual true reason, let's be honest, why a lot of people see AI as the opportunity to make money selling the automations compared to something like the marketing agencies is because it seems like you can start with the automations and not be responsible for getting more business to the business doors and not be responsible for the actual marketing or for getting the business off the ground. Again, maybe you do not realize that, but if you think, most of you, I guarantee, decided that this is a cool space compared to the marketing, because in marketing, you're responsible for the results. Now, there is nothing wrong with this approach, and I think it's a good thing. But what you need to understand is that businesses also realize this. Of course, there was kind of the beginning of the era of starting to integrate the solutions, and it still is. We are very early. Nothing gonna be changed in a month or 6 months or a year. This is a slow growing process, but eventually everyone will realize that AI automations is just a commodity. It doesn't necessarily mean that AI agencies will die. It means that you will still need to take responsibility for the things that you do. And as I was saying in the very beginning, when you're taking responsibility for the time-saving task, sure, that's awesome, but you will not be able to charge for that a lot. So what we decided to do is to focus on sales, specifically conversational sales. So these are the agents that communicate with the customers. Why? Because I really like chatbots. I've been building chatbots my whole life. When I've been in the e-com space and the private label on Amazon, I had a pretty successful agency. I've made $500,000, then I lost everything on gambling. This is another story for another video. So I made a lot of money pretty quickly with my agency that were exclusively buying reviews on Amazon, but companies were buying reviews from us. We were gaining reviews for Amazon products. If you want this as a separate video story, let me know in the comments. But what I'm saying is that there we were using ManyChat. So we were using ManyChat, we were running the Facebook ads, we were asking people to, hey, do you need the free product? Yes, okay, they enter the pipeline. There's literally a chatbot steps that is, following, and based on the conditions, it routes them to different places. Now, so it's I like that. Even though we had a 15-team agency, I was doing the conversational design myself in terms of, at least the logic, not to the production level. So I like the niche, right? I like the tool. And based on the background, based on what I like, we created this conversational sales system. And that's why I claim that we are the best in the world, and I am the best in the conversational design. So what can you do with all this information? I think that, again, this is a pretty raw video. I was not planning anything. I just want to share my thoughts, raw, how I see them, how I see the market. I feel like right now, it's already kind of the thing. And in a year or in 6 months, it's going to be more obvious. When you're asking, how do you make money selling AI? It's like the same type of the question is like, how do you make money on the internet? I mean, this is maybe the type of the question that your mom can ask or your grandpa. Sorry, but I mean, right? We know, like, online entrepreneurs, this is not type of the question that you ask. Like, what, like online? So because this is that broad, like, yes, this is that big. Okay, so let me actually give you one. I'll like give you one specific agency idea. Let me give you two. Okay, I swear to God, you can build $100,000 month agency out of each one of these ideas separately in the next 12 months. Now, I do not have a $100,000 month agency. And hey, Eugene, but like, why are you giving this? And why are you saying that if you have not achieved that? Because like the way I like communicate with the clients, because of the way how I've been focusing on certain products, I see the trends, I see what businesses are seeking, and I cannot just pivot my agency right away or like close my agency and start a new one. Whatever this bullshit is from the gurus, I just don't feel that I am there, okay? In terms of, quitting all the clients and then restarting from scratch. Now, so the first one is based on the solution where you have businesses that run ads to the lead forms. So you run the ads, you get the form submits, and one of these sales reps, AI sales reps, contact this person. Now, so picture a local HVAC, plumber, solar, or whatever, Kyra, the landscaping, whatever company is. So they run the ads. They receive a form submit. On this form submit, they get, hey, so they say, yeah, sure. So what are you interested in? Here. And usually this is what we've been doing for a few clients. That's why I'm like claiming that this is a really good model. We've been just not able to focus on that solely. That's what I'm asking you, and that's what I'm pitching you as an idea. Focus on that. And you just, so this is the standardized, lead forms that they maybe already running, and you have a simple select how do you want to get contacted, right? So the phone, email, SMS, or whatever. So then this thing will go into a high level or in any type of the CRM that of your choice. It should be the CRM that has a capability of the automations. Again, like high level is just the most efficient way to do that. And then based on the information that the user provides here, within how he wants to be contacted, there are different stages, like there are different pipelines, how like the conversation will go. And so let's say if there's an SMS, they will receive a message from the engagement agent saying, hey, David, so that you're like looking for the landscaping work on your yard. What's the size of the yard again? This is Mark from landscaping.com. Okay, now, so this is the first message, which is very personalized, that is generated based on this information. Now, Mark replies, and now you go back and forth. If you've been watching previous videos, you will see that the only way for it to work is to mimic human behavior. To do that, you need something like we have inside the one prompt. Again, given the license are not able to do that, you would need to create something like that yourself. So one of the things is that you can receive multiple messages and reply with multiple messages. You can do the follow-ups, and you can even do some sort of a internal follow-ups if the prospect doesn't respond to you within, a few minutes, just something like the question mark to make sure that we're still waiting for the response. Now, so this whole thing will be very conversational and very human. Now you're just booking an appointment with a person. Then this appointment goes to the actual pipeline stage. So like here. And yeah, so the appointment is booked. Before the appointment, maybe there's a human sales rep that will follow up with this person. And before the appointment, you will do the actual follow-ups, right? So this is pretty easy to set up. This solves a lot of problems for a lot of different businesses, not necessarily local. All of them who are running the ads. Now, you can apply the same thing for the people that are running ads for something like the B2B SaaS that are running ads for the demos. So technically the same thing. So for the demo, you have a form. You submit this information. So you submit this form, and the agent, contacts you to qualify and to capture all the details. Now, the problems that you solve are vary depending on the industry. So your pitch should be something like, we can increase your closing rate, or we can increase your show up rate, or what's better is we can increase your ROI on the ads that you run right now, so that you can get more business into the doors, not spending more on the ads, right? So there are kind of different angles into that. I think you always, when we're working with the businesses, if you're build it, because like you are exactly driving more business to their doors without them spending more money, because when you spend more time with each and every prospect. Yeah, sure. So now the qualification is their good part. So for example, if you're working with a B2B SaaS or for the educational institution, I'm not sure when the video will come out. There will be a video on my YouTube channel how we closed $18,000 education institution. This is what we do for them. It's very similar. So this is not for like the actual return on investment, but also the qualification. Now it depends on the business, depends on the business size and how you would want to approach and like the actual pitch. But the general idea is that you can help to grow the business without them investing into the paid marketing. Okay, by either qualifying people and making sure that the closing rate is better because all the people already warmed up, maybe educated, and then already most of the questions are answered, so that the sales reps can only focus on the closing. If this is the high ticket, if it's the low ticket, like the local businesses, you can make sure that each prospect is contacted, comes to the pipeline, he's getting followed up, and when he is in the pipeline, after that, you can imagine you can run the actual re-engagement campaigns to make them post a review, and then their referral campaigns to get them create a referral so that they share it with their family member to get a chance of winning something. So now there are a lot of kind of different possibilities when it comes to the ads with the AI. I'm planning in future to create more videos about it for sure. And you can really dial it in within one industry. Now, if you have experience with running the ads, this is the ideal offer for the guys that have marketing experience, that have marketing agencies, because they can literally pair it up. So they are not just leaving the money on the table and not just giving everything to the business when they are like running the ads and the business handles everything. You are doing like in a box solution where you provide the entire setup for them. The second thing that I wanted to share is the sales reps for the high ticket coaches. Now, again, on this YouTube channel, I was doing a few case studies where I was giving the clients an example of the bills for the clients that we worked with for the coaching, for the coaches that are on the Instagram, as I was already referring the educational institution. So this can be also considered as the coaching training business. They sell high ticket. When it comes to the coaching, they need all the people needs to be nurtured and educated. So here is your ICP. Instagram coaches above 100,000 subscribers that are selling high ticket product. I can guarantee that most of them, if they're successful, having multiple sales reps, human sales reps, they have been pitched for sure already, chatbots, whatever they've been thinking about, many chat automation, of course. The difference, what you can do is that these are actual humans, digital humans, based on the actual entire experience if you're mimicking human behavior. So your pitch could be, hey, we already have it, so let me show it to you, let me train it on your data, let's deploy it for 7 days. So first 7 days are free. If you don't like that, we'll remove it and you'll forget about it. If you like that, we'll charge you $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $500 a month, $5,000 for the setup, depending on the size of the client, and you are good to go. I am telling you, this is a huge market. Once you land 1, 2, 3 clients, you're gonna scale like crazy. We have already a few coaches lined up for the service, like within our agency. Now, and we're not like taking them for a very specific reason, but this is something for another video. Now, these are specifically 2 ideas you can start executing tomorrow. After this video, if you leave at least 1 comment under my video or any other YouTuber's video on how to get into the AI space, what niche to choose, what you are just not going to make it. Get these ideas and start working.